All right, here we have a 1995 Toyota Landcruiser that I have up for sale. It's California, its entire life, so it's the way you want your Landcruisers, rust-free in California, not in the beaches, but inland, and that's exactly what this one is. It is amazing. So what's unique about this one is it has 100,000 miles on the engine. Okay, little asterisk there. The odometer is 259, and that's because the fourth owner, first two owners, was like a brass hat at the dealership. So it was dealership for the first 6 months and dealership for a year before technically the third owner, who I consider the first owner, and then the fourth owner. So fourth owner got it in 2008, I believe, or 2010, one of the two. Anyways, nonetheless, has had it over a decade and a bit. And on this rig, it was a lady, so her husband had a bunch of 4x4s. She wanted a 4x4. He says, you pick. So she picked a Landcruiser, and he goes, it's your truck. So I think she let a little time pass for an oil change, and she got an engine knock. So what did they do? They put a new engine in. They could have actually fixed the engine, but it was in early 2018, new engine from the donor vehicle, because donor vehicles, you never really need to put an engine in an 80 series. So the donor had 85,000 miles on it. It was an accidented hit from behind. So it was sitting there waiting like the Maytag man, waiting for a vehicle to go in, and it finally went in this one. So 85,000 miles. This happened on this truck about 15,000 miles ago. So the lady from 2018 till now put 15,000 miles on it. So now that engine has 100,000 miles. So it is, and I noticed it because I've driven lots of 80 series, and I'm like, this one is like the best driving 80 I've ever had, and it's because it's got 100,000 miles. And when you put an engine in, you're changing all your fluids, you're just doing everything to get it right when it's installed. And it was installed by a Yoda master. So let's get closer and take a look. First of all, that paint is phenomenal. I compounded it. I got it all back up to that reflective brand new, because white paint on a Landcruiser is one coat process. I did a little cool sticker. That comes off. That's just decal, so you could peel that off, but why? Because that looks so good. It's not too much. It's just right. And then it's got an ARB roof rack, and it's got sliders here. So a nice set of sliders which goes underneath and also protects your catalytic converters, which are side by side in the FZJ80 from 95 on. And when you're talking 95, hopefully you know your stuff if you're already watching this video. But if you don't, I got lots of videos on Landcruisers. It's the theme of my channel. But in 95 to 96 to 97, they're the best because you have airbags, you have the OBD1, and then it became OBD2 afterwards. You have, just all these improvements, a lot of improvements they actually did on the truck. So 97 is the same as the 95. And then when people talk collectors or anniversary, to me it's a bunch of BS, because they had the anniversary and then Toyota said, wow, that sold well, let's make a collection series. It's just the same thing, except you get that two-tone leather, which I'm not a big fan of. So this, when you get a Landcruiser, you want 95 to 97. And white stands the test of time. There's no clear coat to peel on a white because, again, it's one coat process. Clear and white is mixed together. It can oxidize. That's one of the pitfalls of having it, but as long as you wax it, you're never going to have a problem. It's for people that don't take care of their vehicles, they're going to oxidize. But if it does, guess what? A little bit of elbow grease and compound, you can get it right back to looking like this one does. All right, the wheels, those are 33s. They're Goodyear Wranglers, the Duratrac. So I believe that's what the Kevlar 285, 75/16. It's got an old man emu lift, and you can see inside, if we can get in there, that blue right there, that is a spacer, so that gives you another inch. I think that's 30 millimeters. So it's sitting just right. It could go with 35s. You could easily put 35s on this, but these 33s is right in the sweet spot. No caps. I'm not a fan of caps. So I refinished the hubs there, as you can see. Just sanded them off, put a nice satin epoxy, and then that's yellow gold. So those wheels, that color is yellow gold. So it's not too much copper, not too much gold, not too much bronze. It's like just right. When I was at a shop having the wheels put on, 3 people stopped asking, what color is that? I want to know, I want that color. Those are ActionTrax up above. If anybody's interested in those, I'm a distributor for that product and have them with a slight discount because I buy pallets, 1 or 2 pallets each time. But those are better than MaxTrax, and they use the MaxTrax pins, as you can see. So those are the MaxTrax pins, Extreme. And behind that, I have a Rax Brax mount. So it's pretty much bolted right to the ARB roof rack and sitting there solid. I like them like that on the side. That's how I do them. And that's Desert Tan. Hit my channel up or ask me if you're looking for ActionTrax, I'll get you hooked up. And look at the bumper. So the bumper typically is gray, right? It's that like dark charcoal gray, but there's no dark charcoal gray on this truck whatsoever because the front bumper, the OEM's removed. It's an ARB. So I had that done in black satin, super clean. Another thing people don't realize, the kick plate here, it's aluminum. You can polish that thing up. I use 000 steel wool and then polish it. Cross member polished up, looking like new, and it's got a tow. These tow like 5,000 pounds, so you don't want to tow something huge. Go get a V8, get a 200 series if you're going to tow something over 7,000. I think you can do 8,000 pounds on a 200 series. 100 series, 6,000 pounds. 80 series, 5,000 pounds. Just so you know. But again, California, so not a speck of rust on it. Super clean. You know, even the wheel wells, I don't know if that shows, are pretty clean in there. The frame, let's take a look inside. So carpet's clean. This does have the, I took them out temporarily, but it does have the 3rd row, so it comes with the 3rd row. But super clean, so it's got that beige and tan finish on the inside. The seats just bolt down. A lot of people take them out because they want to overland, and me, I put my mountain bike in. It's just easier. Windows are clean as can be. When I clean my windows, I do 3 passes with my different products. That's really what it takes if you want to get them perfectly clean. So that is looking good. Let's take a look at the 2nd row. You know, even down to, that's all clean, all good. There we go. If you're in California, this is registered till September 2023. I like these aftermarket lights. I'm a big fan. I do like the 3-tone lights for sure, but this came with those aftermarket, and you know what? Those are LED. They are bright and pretty awesome. I like them. All right. There we go. So you can see the frame, super clean. All right. Now this had the overlay everywhere. I took it off except for the back. I left the back because I want to show this is what happens, and it was all over the place in the front, which really dates the truck. Doesn't look good, but I left it in the back. So we've got the back seats. You got WeatherTech here. And then let's look at the front. So yeah, that same, you know, fake wood was here. I removed it all. Removed. Oh yeah, triple locked. That's the first thing I should have mentioned, right? It's triple locked, E-lockers, they all work. Has a CB. It's clean. Yes, the D-light works. We're gonna go for a test drive. I'll show you that. But super clean. 95 is the updated dash. It's got a DoubleDin JVC, so Bluetooth, all the good stuff. It's got your, usually this is just a cavity here, so this has got the drink holder, because you could put a drink up here, which is not really practical. You can put a drink here, you can put a drink here, but I use that one. That's the best cup holder. It all the leather is original except for the seat here was changed, and most of the time when you get a Landcruiser, the seats don't move back and forth, and it's because this little doohickey. People buy new motors for about $1,000 to $1,200. You know what? All you need is this 50-cent piece. No joke. If your seat isn't working, that's what's missing. Now, what's unique with this one, the person I got it from, a little bit of a larger lady. I think, because this seat goes further back than any Landcruiser I ever had. I haven't had time to really investigate it, but I think they set it up where it goes further back. Like I'm telling you, it goes back 2 more inches than normal. So to me, that if you're 6 feet tall, so not a big person, but a tall person, this 80 series would be a great fit. CB radio in there too. I'm not a CB guy, but it was there, so left it. Now on this side, didn't get new seats because it's okay. I've been putting lots of coats of, that's about as bad as it gets, is right there, which is livable, right? It hasn't ripped open, but it has cracks, and that's what I call it alligator leather. That's what the leather does on Landcruisers. The sunroof, oh yeah, and this has all been cleaned up. Sunroof works. So there's your roof rack. It's the cage type, right? So super good, can attach a bunch of things. Sunroof works, it opens, it closes. We'll do that during the test drive. What else? There's your ARB. The side mirrors, super clean. And of course, you know why these always look good? Because it's glass. It was glass back in the day. I think in the 100 series, for the first couple of years, it was still glass, and then they went to plastic. I put new lights on. These are Oxbeam, brand new, with covers. Those are covers, so it can be white if you want. In 95, they went to the sombrero look. It says Toyota if it was a 1994 and older. So there's the ARB. You know, scratch here, no big deal. You could hit that with a Sharpie if you wanted. But yeah, wheel well clean. Let's look at the other side. Old man emu, there we go. Super clean inside. Underneath clean. And I do park on my driveway, which is a brick driveway. This doesn't leak, because if it leaked, he would not be allowed on my driveway. And that's a functioning Snorkle. So already all snorkeled up. So this has all the extras, all the goodies that you would possibly want on your cruiser. It's got a protective plate there. And I did 2 rounds of hosing it down underneath and high pressure washing. It just still has a lot of dirt, you know, caked on over years. So it's a process. There's going to be a big rainfall here tomorrow. So I'm going to take this out in the rain, and that'll do a lot of cleaning underneath. We just don't get a lot of rain in California. All right, let's crank her up. Let's get her started. And I think I left the keys inside. Nope, let me find the keys and we'll get her. Okay, got the keys. They're in my back pocket. So it does have unlock remotely. All right. So I drove it up here from my house pretty much cold start, and this is the end of a cul-de-sac. So of course, so to show cold start, it's always going to rev a little higher while it warms up. And let's take a look at that engine bay. All right. So I do not spit shine engines. I leave them the way they are. So this is how it came. That way you can see if there's any oil leaks or issues, right? But this one runs so smooth. Probably running at 1100 RPMs right now. It's still warming up. It's like 54 degrees here in Southern California late afternoon, so it's actually cool weather. Yeah, everything. Battery is a January 2021, so that's a relatively new battery. But yeah, if someone, next owner of this, can take it and detail the engine, make it look great. I just don't do that because then someone says, oh, what are you hiding? So I prefer to leave everything as is, so you can see as it is. But the true treat of this one is driving it, so. Yeah, that's purring. I don't know how well the camera picks that up, but that is just purring so nicely. And it just drives so tight. So, yeah, there we go. You can see it's warmed up, so it's just below the 1000. So, a lot of Landcruisers, that drive light burns out. So look, there's our reverse, there's our neutral. Voila, we have drive. I'm not going to put my seatbelt on, I'm just driving locally here. You have no idea, when you take off a fake wood dash, it is hours and hours. Because yeah, you can snap off the, you got to be careful, you don't want to damage anything. So you snap off the, you know, the old plastic, but there's like 3M rubber, like gray, thick, not double-sided tape, but it's just a gunk. Oh, there's the wife's truck. She's just got home, I guess. So that's Bluetooth. Sound system sounds great. Usually by this time, a 20-year-old Landcruiser needs to have new speakers. But let's listen to that. It just shifts so nicely, it drives so nicely. The old man Emu, 2.5-inch lift, sits so nicely. Like you can take corners. Oh yeah, you just feel it just hugs the road. I love an old man Emu lift. I had one in Otis, and I did put a stage 3 icon. But when I first did it, I said, why did I put that stage 3? That old man Emu was so good. So yeah, old man Emu, it's don't knock it. Some people like, oh, King shocks, or you got to go Dobinson or adjustable. You know, old man Emu doesn't need to be adjustable because it's dialed in just right. It's perfect and strong enough to handle a. Let's put our lights on. There we go. It's 4:15 here in Southern California, wintertime, so. Our sun is down and it'll be dark here in another 30 minutes. But this has got get up and go. I'll kid you not, I was over at Cruiser Tech and they put superchargers or they put performance parts on the engines and said, hey, take this for a drive. I did. And I was like, I don't know if I feel more power than this total stock 100,000 mile inline 6 engine. This thing is peppy, this thing is good. Keeps up with, well, keeps up. Go faster than the flow of traffic easily if you want to. And you can see, I'll try to zoom in later, 259, 500 on the body on its California, you know, driving history for the last 20, how many years is that? 1995, 28 years. So 28 years of driving in California, but that engine has 100,000 clicks. All right, let's go. Head back home. We're actually gonna hit some sun here, so maybe I'll pause. And when we come to a stop, I'll do the final wrap up on the rig. Actually, I did want to do a kickdown, so don't mind the sun, but listen to this kickdown in this engine. So smooth, plenty of power. You know, when you have like a 300,000 mile engine, they last, right? These engines go 500,000 miles. It's a shame the lady had to change it at 245, but this 100,000 mile engine, when you kick down, I'm telling you, it drives like new. That was just, hopefully the foam picked up that sound. It was awesome. I'll do one more kick down, like going up this hill, and you can really get a sense of this engine. While we wait for the gate to open, check this out. So it tilts, and then it goes back. Not a lot of Land Cruisers can say that. There we go. All right, oh, you know what? I forgot, I don't have a code thing on my truck. Hang on, I gotta back up. There we go, I just had to do it manually. So in we go, and then I'll do a kick down going up the hill. Got the window open, so maybe we can hear this. Check it out. I couldn't go too much. My neighbor was walking their dog. There's my other neighbor. Can't race in the neighborhood, but you heard that kick down coming up the hill. Just the power's there. This engine's phenomenal. 100,000 miles. So this will be someone's vehicle, Land Cruiser that's going to go for years and years. The next 300,000-400,000 miles easily. Just do your oil changes. don't do like that lady. Do your oil changes. All right. There's the brick driveway I park on. So, all right, let's zoom in. So there's the miles, 295, 514. But again, remember that 85,000 mile engine went in at 245,000. It's all in the Carfax. I got a copy for anybody who wants to see it. And I did my research. I called the company. It's called Quality Used Engines. I called them up. I asked them about the engine, and they paid, because it was before COVID. The lady paid $2,900 for the engine and $2,000 for the install. So just call it $5,000 to put that engine in, where she really didn't need to. She should have just, you know, fixed that knock. That engine knock you could have done for a lot cheaper than that. But hey, now with the 15,000 miles she added, because it was done at about 244, 245, and now it's got 259. That engine has 100,000 miles. But, you know, if I didn't know any better, you know, if it was my first Land Cruiser, I wouldn't know. But I've driven, look, I've got, that's a 1995 with 174,000 miles on it. That's a diesel, but I've had a few 80 series. I had one with 313,000 miles. I had one with 240,000 miles. And I can tell. I just know the way the engine sounds, the way the gears shift, just the way the kick down goes. And this one is tight. It's awesome. So someone's going to love this truck. All right. So there you have it. Now I'm posting this, and I had it on my Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, I am Land Cruiser 949, and somebody saw that I posted this and said, do you have any Land Cruisers for sale? And I said, yes, I do. This one's for sale. So this one, let me drop the price and let you know all that details. This one is $32,900. So $32,900. So some of you that know Land Cruisers are going to say, hey, that's totally reasonable. And some of you are going to say, what? That's expensive. Well, let me tell you, I've got a video that I put out a year ago talking about where the prices are going on these trucks. And, you know, when you talk about it, and if you've ever seen Bring a Trailer or other places you can buy Land Cruisers, whenever there's one with 80,000 miles, there was one with 40,000 miles that went for 140 grand. Crazy. And it, you know, garage kept real nice, right? Probably, you know, one notch higher on quality than this one, because this one, you know, doesn't have 40,000 miles. It does have 259 on the body, but in Southern California, right? That's better than, you know, 100,000 miles in Maryland or Chicago that's going to be in the Salt Belt. But If this was 100,000 miles on that odometer, right? The truck still would have been around as many as 28 years, right? You can't remove the years that it is existing. And is it garage? Is it not garage? You don't know. But this white paint goes to show that it is in phenomenal shape. You can see that. But if this had legit 100,000 miles, without an engine change, this truck would go for about 50 to 60,000 bucks easily. But because it is a engine install in 2018 and now has 100,000 miles, 32.9 is a pretty awesome deal for this truck. And that 32.9 includes those ActionTrax on the back, these new lights I put on in the front. And at the time of videoing, I'm waiting for a Smitty built axe and shovel carrier, which is going to go up there. So if you look at my Instagram, as soon as I get that, I should have it this week, I'm going to put that up. Pretty cool look for an axe and hammer. Not hammer, an axe and a shovel on top of there. So that's the only thing I wasn't able to add at time of videoing. But if the first gentleman who asked me like, hey, as soon as you post a video, can I have dibs? If he doesn't take the truck, then hit me up. That means that this would be available. But that one is really nice. Now, I've been asked, and some of you might say like, well, how come if it's so nice, why don't you keep it? Here's why. I have an LX 570, that's the wife's. I have this. I have a diesel 60 Japanese. I got Godzilla there. That's a HZJ80. I've got Green Machine. This is my rock crawler on 40-inch tires with a 5.7 liter V8. That's my 40. This is my FZJ80. Same year as that one. Same year, same everything. I outfitted it. So I don't need two gas 80s. If I didn't have Otis, if I did not have this one, hell yeah, 100% without a shadow of a doubt, I would be keeping this one with 100,000 miles on that engine. Unbelievable. And then I have a diesel 80. That's a 1995. That's a 24 valve engine diesel. It drives phenomenal as well. I don't need 380s, unfortunately, but I love cleaning them up. I love it. So when I found and sourced this one, I had to pry it from the lady. She had it on sale because I bought this a couple months ago. She had it for sale. And then I contacted her. We couldn't meet up. Didn't work out. I'm like, okay. She was in San Diego, North County. And then I look up and her ad was down. So I called her up and she said, yeah, I'm not going to sell it. I'm like, well, we were supposed to meet. I'm going to be driving by to see my daughter down in San Diego. She goes to university there. Can I come by and see it? She's like, okay. So I saw it. We talked. We stayed in touch. And finally, I met her price. And she let it go. And literally, as soon as she let it go, she almost immediately regretted it because her daughter wanted the truck. Her daughter's only 14, but she's still at a 14-year-old. It's kind of like my daughter. My daughter drives this one. She's 18. She loves this truck. She won't let me sell it. So yeah, that's why I'm not keeping it. I'm going to sell it because I already got that one and that one. 280s. And to me, gas and diesel, they drive totally different. That's right-hand drive. That's Japanese. So you gotta have to like right-hand drive like I do. Anyways, I digress. I keep going on and on, don't I? If you have an 80 or you're looking to buy one, you're gonna want to cover it. If it's lifted, you're not getting it in your garage. These won't fit. So I have these covers which are perfect. It's not a cover for a Landcruiser. It's a cover for a totally different SUV, but I have them for 130 bucks. If you're interested, just hit me up. I'll put my contact information in the description. But that one's amazing. This one is from a different company, covers the entire vehicle, and it's totally disintegrating. I would not recommend that one. This one is doing phenomenal, and I like it because I have the sleeve bumper exposed, so it doesn't look so, like what's covered in the driveway. It looks cool, like you can still see a vehicle. So I like that, and it just covers the body as I want. It leaves my AOE bar exposed. I'm working with that company now, so if you're interested in AOE, that or the sidebar that goes here, like the fender protector, sliders, or rear, bumper, which is from 4x4 Labs, but they subcontract with them. I'm representing AOE, so hit me up if you're interested in getting that. All right, so there you have it. 32.9, hit me up. See if it's still available, if that first gentleman takes it or not. I don't know. We shall see. But there you have it. That is a beaut. All right, I answer questions, so just ask me any questions in the comments. I will get back. And what else? Yeah, last thing I'll say is this. That bronze tint is so cool. In Otis, my Moonglow Pearl, it's not bronze tint. So I guess what Toyota did back in the day is they would do the tint pertaining to your interior. So, you know, beige interior, they went bronze tint. So that's why I did that decal above that above the rear tire, you know, with the brown, the gold, and that little metallic gray. I just think that's kind of a cool throwback look, but making it yet modern at the same time. Look how clean that back is. My buddies were like, man, your truck looks brand new. It looks like it just rolled out of 1995. And I said, yep, it sure does. It's so cool. And I was going to put a Prinsu roof rack on this, but that ARB is growing on me. I kind of like it. It's giving it a look, you know, with the ARB bar in the front. It's looking pretty cool. Look at that in the setting sunlight, dusk here in Southern California, how nice that is. And if I didn't show, I don't think I showed lots of tread, like the tons of tread on these. I'd say it's about 70% in the rear and 80% in the front. So even if you want to go with 35s, a lot of life left in these puppies. A lot of life. And these are like they're mud and snow rated. So like a mud tire, MS rated. So take it up to the mountains if you want. And there's your big Australian style communication antenna for your CB. Okay, I think I covered everything. So if I didn't, ask me those any questions in the comments and hit me up. All right, happy cruising.